Peeps, Kenny Molotov here in the studio. I wanted to do a really quick sort of story time with you, and it's about bullying and the trades, because I recently had an experience where somebody was sort of mouthing off to me, and it's not an experience I normally have because I'm blessed to work with my father and we don't really have that relationship, but I do think that in all forms of work, in all workplaces, this could be something that happens quite often, to be honest, and I think trades is no different. I think the trades would probably have some bully mentalities out there, and I want to share it with you guys to hear what you guys might have experienced yourself, to see if you would have handled it differently, and just to see overall if this is something that's happening out there. So last week I was at a job site. I was doing a rough-in of a tub and shower faucet. My father left me alone at this job site. There were a couple of guys there working on different things. There was an electrician and a couple of general contractors. I also think there was a framer as well. It was a packed house basically in a condominium building. My dad left me. I started working on my tub and shower faucet, and actually it was going pretty smooth. I think it was around 1 o'clock I decided to break for lunch. I went out for lunch. I came back about an hour later, and the electrician and the general contractor were currently working in the same space as I was, which was the washroom, which was cool. I did everything I could to sort of avoid them, but there came a point where I had to say to them, look guys, I sort of need to get in the same space as you. Can we work something out? They were cool with it. They let me stay there and get my stuff done. And then I realized that the electrician at the job site was sort of waiting for me. So I turned to him, I said, am I in your way? He was polite enough at this point to smile, and he goes, well, you know, I gotta run my wire behind those pipes right there. I said, okay, you know what, it'll take me about 15 minutes just to finish. Is that cool? He goes, yeah. I actually then realized that I needed about 5 minutes to prep my fittings. I needed to clean them and clean a couple of pipes. So I said, you know what, actually, I need about 5 minutes. Why don't you go ahead and start running it? And he was like, no, it's okay. Get your thing done. I'll do it as soon as you finish. So I thought we had settled something really civilly and really nicely, but here's what happens. I start running my pipe, and I'm running a shower head. So I'm running a vertical pipe with a shower 90 on it, which is drilled into a piece across to keep it level. And as I put it in and I solder it, I noticed this thing is not level. Now, I don't know if you've ever dealt with a shower 90, but if your shower 90 is not level, the shower head coming out of the wall will either be facing the ceiling or it'll be facing down. And both scenarios are horrible because you can't shower correctly and you can't put in the pipes after for the shower head. I needed to correct it. That's part of the game. It happens every time you put in a shower 90. You have to make sure it's level. I start leveling it. I cut the pipe in the center. I find two 90s, and now I just need to find the distance between them so that I can make this pipe level with the shower head connected. If that's level, the shower head's level, we're good to go. I'm putting these two 90s in, and this electrician shows up and he goes, and what's the point of this? What was the point of this cut right here? I explained to him. I thought he was genuinely asking. I didn't know he had frustration involved in the question. I said, well, it's not level, so the shower 90 needs to face level, or it's going to be either hitting the ceiling or it's going to be facing downwards, which is awkward as well. He goes, you know, in the 15 years that I've been doing construction, I haven't seen a single person doing this. It's a waste of time and it's a waste of money. At this point, I'm like, what the hell is going on? Why is this guy blasting me? So I turned to him and I said, look, I disagree with you, and he went on his way and I went on my way. Now, here's the difficult part about this. At this point, when somebody blasts you, the first thing that comes to your mind is, A, why the hell am I being blasted? And 2, you get upset. You know, you want to blast back. It's a startling moment. Everybody's been through this. So I'm sitting back frustrated now going, who the hell is this guy to tell me, first of all, what I'm supposed to be doing? Why the hell is he telling me? And what makes him think he's an authority? Like, all these questions are running through my mind. I'm getting more and more angry as this is going on. And the hardest part is that, yes, you're getting angry, but at the same time, it is obstructing you from doing the things that you need to do. You need to run these pipes. You need to solder these 90s. You got to make sure the thing's level. That way, you can finish, and that way, he can get in and finish. So you have to interrupt yourself. You sort of have to go, hey, relax, get this done, and we could keep going. So I did that. I kept interrupting myself from my frustration, and I kept running this pipe. Now, it became more and more difficult because this this guy's walking back and forth. He's waiting at the door. He's making it really, really uncomfortable. Cool, look, I know what I'm doing. I'm working at it, but now it's added pressure. You know what I'm saying? I've done this sort of roughing a bunch of times, but put this guy in the equation, all of a sudden it becomes a bit more difficult. You know what I'm saying? Another factor you got to realize is when you get frustrated, you slow down. Actually, your productivity is not as good as it was when you had a clear mind. At least that's the way it is for me. So now this little problem that I gotta solve, which is making these two pipes level, is taking me longer than it normally would have because I'm frustrated. Nonetheless, I finally get it done, and here's what happens. This electrician's walking by, notices that I'm about to finish, and talks to the general contractor named Daryl. And he basically said something like, Daryl, let's go. This plumber's finally done. 15 minutes, 5 minutes. Took him a half an hour to run his fucking pipe. And he was cussing like he was pissed. Took him a half an hour to run his pipe. If he just gave me 5 minutes, I would have had this done a long time ago. So this guy is clearly upset. He's clearly blasted. It's very oppositional, and it's infuriating me because I don't know what the hell I could have done to avoid this. I gave him an opportunity to run his stupid wire. I also took an hour break for lunch. I don't know why his wire wasn't finished by then, but for some reason that wasn't enough time, and somehow I'm the culprit for the situation. I don't know. So that occurs, and then what he doesn't realize is, yes, I have all my pipes in now, but now I have to test the system, so I need at least another 15 minutes to actually let him get in and do it. So I start testing the system. Everything's looking just fine. He notices that I'm actually done this time, and I'm packing up my stuff to leave, and he does the same sort of thing again. Less intense though. He goes to Daryl. He goes, Daryl, the artist is done. Let's go. Actually, Daryl was walking by at the time. So now here's what's interesting. Daryl is the general contractor. He's actually the guy in charge. He's the one hiring all the trades here. So he's the head kahuna. He's the guy. So as he's walking by, I'm livid at this point. I stop him, and he just heard this electrician say this. I stop him and I go, Daryl, are you gonna sort him out or am I? Daryl noticed how upset I was, so I'm sort of glad that I told him this. Daryl was like, dude, I'm so sorry. This is just who he is. He's like this all the time. Yesterday I was yelling at him as well. We've been yelling at each other all day. Don't worry, man. Like, do your work. Don't worry about anybody but yourself. This is this guy. You know what I'm saying? So at this point, I'm a little bit relieved, but at the same time, I'm a little bit pissed off as well, because it is Daryl's job site, and Daryl should be the one putting him in check. I shouldn't be correcting him. It's not my job site. Daryl's the one in charge. Daryl should be making sure that this sort of abuse doesn't happen, because it's abuse. But at the same time, he's also verifying to me, Kenny, this isn't about you. It's about this guy losing his mind all the time. This is how he is. The interesting part about this situation is 100 times in the past when I was doing this tub and shower faucet just like this, my dad has corrected me like a handful of times about leveling this pipe. So I was not in the wrong to do this. This is my job. It's required that I make sure that this thing is level. That's the first thing. The second thing is, even though this electrician was pissed off, my job as a plumber is to make sure two people are happy. A, it's the person that is hiring me specifically, which is my father. It's most important to make sure that you're doing something that you know your superior is going to say, no, you did a good job, that's fine. And second of all, we got to make sure Daryl, who's representing the customer, is happy as well. And in this situation, both my father and Daryl were both happy. So most importantly, those two people are crucial in regards to deciding whether you were doing something right or something wrong. Adding two 90s, two half-inch copper 90s is not going to break the bank. What is going to break the bank is if you don't have a level shower head, and now you got to break tile and drywall because you don't have a level shower head. So in other words, I don't think I did anything wrong. What I did was 100% correct. I did my job up to standards, the standards that are necessary. But what I have a hard time with is I swallowed all that. I did not blast back, which was my initial desire. This electrician's yelling at me, and in my head I'm going, dude, let him have it. Let him have it, bro. What's stopping you? Give it to him, Kenny. Go for it. And in the back of my head I'm going, no, I can't do this. And there were a couple of reasons why I didn't. A, I'm at a job site I'm not going to be at tomorrow. It's sort of like something that's going to be off my shoulders in a couple of minutes. Just finish the job and keep going. The second reason, as weird as this is the gentleman that was, I shouldn't say gentleman, the guy that was yelling at me was my dad's age. Maybe even a bit older. Inherently, I've been taught don't yell at your elders. That's sort of also why I didn't blast back. I sort of still have that respect. But most importantly, one thing is that there was a moment where I was gonna, and that's why I approached the person in charge, because I was about to start blasting, and then Daryl sort of checked me and said, no man, you're good, don't worry about it, this is this guy. And that's how I decided to handle it. I decided to basically say to the person in charge, look, this is happening, either you're gonna correct it or I'm gonna correct it. Daryl kind of stopped me at doing anything and said it's not worth it or whatever, but that's how I decided to handle it. The first thing was I tried to speak logically to him and say, this is why I'm doing it. This electrician obviously thought I was the biggest idiot in the world. The next thing was talk to the person in charge. Now, what's interesting is I would have reacted differently if this was a job site I went to every day. In other words, if this electrician had given me lip and I knew I was going to see him tomorrow and the next day and the day after that, and I was here with him for months, I think personally, and this is up for debate, I'd like to know what you guys think, I think there would have had to be a correction. I would have had to let him know in whatever words I had at that moment, step off, be an electrician, and I'll be the plumber, okay? I don't know, man. I don't know. I think it was really hard swallowing this, because when somebody blasts me, I want to blast back just to get that frustration out. By swallowing it, it was a different beast altogether, because the next couple of days I noticed that I was just amped. Anytime somebody sort of gave me a look or maybe even subtly challenged my opinion in plumbing, I was ready to go. I wanted to send this out to you guys because this is definitely a form of bullying, and I think a lot of workplaces have this sort of character in it, and I hope we're weaving this person out, or this personality trait out, but I think it's human nature, and I think there are a bunch of people out there like this. So I want to know what you guys think, peeps. Do you think I did the right thing? My dad was happy I didn't blast him. I'm pretty sure Daryl was happy I didn't blast him. You know, I have moments where I'm happy. I have moments where I just wish I let him know what I thought about him, which were very unnice things. But what do you guys think? Do you think I should have blasted back? Do you think I should have corrected him, told him to step off? Do you think do you think I did the right thing? I also want to know if you guys have experienced something like this on the job site. Is there a bully nearby, or did you have to deal with a bully or with a loud mouth like this? I'd also like to know, would you have handled it differently? Do you know of any good constructive ways to actually handle stuff like this without getting into a huge argument or into a huge fight? Because I think if we band together, we might be able to come up with some interesting ideas. But peeps, I wanted to share that with you. I hope you guys aren't going through anything like this, because honestly, it's not good for your mental health. It's not good for your learning ability either, especially if you're just getting into plumbing. I find that if this guy had blasted me a year ago or 2 years ago, man, I would have been destroyed, because I'm just getting into plumbing at that point. Luckily now, I can correct him in my head and go, no, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. I hope you're not going through anything like that. If you are, let me know in the comments below. We'll talk about it as a community, and I'll talk to you guys very soon. Kenny Molotov, guys. Peace, baby.